On today's episode, I'm interviewing my client, Leeann Bassett, who is a social media coach and consultant who has created her very first online course and is now 4 launches in. Stay tuned to hear her story. Welcome to the Lou Blakely Show. You're in the right place if you're a service provider who is ready to transition into a more freedom-based business model with digital products. In this podcast, I share with you a unique combination of launch strategy, energetics, and mindset to create true, long-lasting success. It's time to ditch the burnout for good, create the business that you truly want, and share it with the world. Let's get started. Hello and welcome to this episode of the Lou Blakely Show. Today I'm very happy to welcome Leeann Bassett, who is my guest today. She is someone who I have worked with in a private coaching capacity for a long time, and I've invited Leeann on the show today to share her story of creating her first online course and launching it out to the world. So welcome, Leeann. Thank you so much for coming on today.
Thanks, Lou. Thanks for having me. It's cool to be here.
Yeah, it's so good to have you on. I'm really excited about this episode. So I thought we'd start off, if you could tell me a little bit about your business, what you do, how you help people, all of that good stuff.
Okay. All right. So my business is called Face Up Now, which has got 2 meanings. Face Up Now is an acronym for fun, so FUN. Which I try and make all of my sessions. I do one-on-one coaching with my clients and try and make that a lot of fun, and knowing that social media can actually be fun once you've sort of broken it down and you understand the bits that you need to do, the bits that are relevant to your audience, and the parts that will really help to grow your business. And the other part of my business name, Face Up Now, is face up now to the fact that you do need to be doing social media. It's not a matter of just thinking you can put up a post every now and again. The businesses that are doing really well are the ones that are being consistent and they have got a great social media presence. So that's a little bit of background about the name of my business. And to get there, I was a teacher. I've been a teacher of most of my life. And once I left teaching, I started up an online business, and I learned how to run Facebook and Instagram ads to sell basically crappy stuff from China through a dropshipping business to people in America. And I did this for a few months and learned a huge amount, but really missed being in that dynamic situation from being in the school to suddenly being at home on my own. And so I decided that once I realized that I had the skill of being able to learn all this techie stuff, being a very non-techie person, and then breaking it down and being able to teach it to other people in a way that made sense and made them feel comfortable and help them to build their confidence. So that's kind of how I got started in this business.
I love that. So you're a social media coach and consultant, and you help, what kind of clients do you help?
Mainly people that have not grown up with social media. So people that are quite happy using the different social media platforms for themselves personally, but then when they get to the stage of having to use it for their own business, suddenly they're like, oh, I don't know what to post. So I feel funny about posting photos of myself. I don't want to talk about myself, or I just don't know what to post. So I work with those business people, and then I also work with slightly sort of medium-sized businesses that are just wanting to get everything put into place so that they can get their marketing team on board, or their admin person having a plan to follow.
Yeah, I love that, and it's such an important skill. I think that really has such an impact on businesses if you can help them work it all out. So I know that you help so many people with what you do, so it's amazing.
Thank you.
Cool. So tell me a little bit about your course. Obviously, we developed this course together. Share with the audience what your course is.
So my current course is called the Fun Social Media Academy. So it's an online course made up of 6 main core modules that helps people to figure out sort of the big picture and where they fit into this whole marketing world, where their business fits in with the niche that they've got with their products or services. And what makes them different from their competitors. And then we look at making sure their pages are all set up properly, because there's no point setting yourself up and trying to run the social media content, but really making a terrible first impression because everything's not set up properly. So I help people to make sure that's all set up properly. And then I go through all the different types of content there is. So not just image posts, but we look at things like reels and live videos and carousel posts, and stories, and just break that all down and explain it in a way that makes sense and makes it accessible and easy for people to learn how to do it, with all the step-by-step videos I've got for them. And then we put together what I call the social media success system, which is taking the stuff that we did at the beginning, the big picture stuff, and we put that into kind of a format that gives you an overall plan for the year for your business and breaks it down into months and then individual posts. And then we can figure out who's responsible for different parts, for different posts and things. So once you've got a system in place, you know what to do, you understand where it fits in, what kind of posts you should be doing for, the different weeks that you've got your content. Then I show you how to analyze all those results and make sure that what you're doing is actually working. So I take you through that process as well. So it's a six module course. It's really comprehensive. There's also a whole lot of extra kind of like I call it the special resources area, where there's a whole pile of how-to videos, like how to make a reel. And some of my clients don't even feel confident using Instagram. So it's, the beginner's guide to literally mapping them through how Instagram works and how to create a Facebook cover, how to create a QR code, for example. And so, it's a very comprehensive course, which is why I called it the Academy. From that, we also, the first time we did the launch, we put all these extra things in it, and then I realised that actually we ended up pulling some stuff out. So as a result, I haven't just got one course, I've got 4 courses, because
amazing.
We took out all the extra stuff and have made those all into standalone courses, which has been fantastic as well.
Yeah, I think we'll get to that kind of thing later in the episode, around about how, we do get to change and adapt and make tweaks to our course as it, after a launch or two. It's not just like set and forget type thing. So
no, definitely not.
How long were you interested before you actually started working with me? Because when you came to me, you didn't have a course at all. But you seemed like you'd been interested in it for quite a while before you actually decided to start working with me privately in a coaching situation and actually get moving on setting up your first course. So what kind of compelled you to be interested in creating your own online course?
Well, I was running, a couple of things. I was running in-person workshops for people, and I was also doing a lot of one-on-one coaching. And so, as you know, the one-on-one coaching has only got a finite, there's only so many clients you can coach in a week. Yeah. There's only so much money you can make from working one-on-one with people. And running the one-on-one workshops alongside the individual coaching, I realized that I was just teaching the same thing over and over and over again. And I thought, well, rather than doing this, if I turn it into an online course, then I can help a lot more people, a lot more effectively. And I guess I'd been stalking you and following you for a few years. And I just really loved your energy, and, you are very down to earth, and, the experience that you've had in the marketing world over your lifetime, it was really, it made me feel confident working with you, and also just, I felt comfortable to be able to trust you and guide me in the right direction. So, yeah.
Oh, that's right. I think I met you for the first time at a She Owns It event in Tauranga, right? Yeah, and that must have been in 2016.
It was
2017 maybe.
Yeah, and I
so
looked
it was
at
a long time ago.
Yeah, and I've sort of been following you ever since. And then when you offered that, the original course that I did that was in the group coaching.
That's right, yeah.
Then I did that and really loved working with you through that. And then that's from there I realised that, for me, I really wanted to work with you one-on-one, because I knew that in order to take my business to that next level, I really needed that consistent, having you there weekly or fortnightly, and being able to talk to you on Voxer was amazing. And just knowing that I was accountable, that was the bit that I really struggled with, that without you, I wouldn't have managed so well. I probably wouldn't have done it at all.
Yeah, because I think The thing with online courses is that you kind of do need someone checking in and making sure you're not only doing it right, but actually doing it in the first place.
Well, it wasn't even that really for me. I just kind of thought, I've got these in-person workshops. So I had all my slides and, my workbooks and everything. And I thought, this is going to be easy. I'm just going to turn it into an online course. And then I'm just going to stick it on my website and people are going to buy it. And that was the thinking that I went into it with.
Right, yeah.
And it wasn't until I'd been working with you for a little while in the group coaching that I realised that actually, I didn't have an email I didn't have any kind of lead magnet. I didn't, in my email, I think my email list was about 150 people. And then once we set that up, I think I was getting about, it's well over 1,500 now. And I think we built that to 1,000 in less than a year. Easy, that was quite easy to do once we had that set up. But I don't know, what were we talking about? Sorry.
I think it was.
My brain just went in the opposite direction.
Oh my God. I think it was, I can't even remember what the question was either, to be honest.
I know what made me think about running online courses, and I think it was that I had...
What were you attracted to?
Well, I was attracted to the fact that I could help more than one person. One-on-one was really hard, and I've kind of come to that realisation. I'd be sitting in traffic driving to that person's house for like an hour and a half or 45 minutes, and I'd actually lose a whole morning over a 2-hour coaching session. And it just did not seem scalable at all to me. In fact, it was, making me just tired and sort of running round and round and round circles. So that was part of the attraction. But I think the thing was that what you helped me to do was to realise that it actually, just because I think something's a good idea doesn't mean that that's what my audience want.
Yeah.
So the process that you took me through and actually trying to figure out what it was people wanted was really valuable and helpful. And I think if I hadn't have gone through that, I would have just, wildly just gone off and created all these courses and tried to sell them, and nothing would have happened. And then I, inevitably would end up feeling like a failure and going, oh, well, online courses don't work. Facebook ads don't work. This is all dumb. So I think that you helped me to avoid all of that, which was, just amazing.
Yeah. And I think that is the power of having that one-on-one support, or any support at all. I see a lot of people actually just creating a whole bunch of courses and then putting them up like a Shopify store almost. And
yeah.
It really doesn't work. So,
and they might sell one every now and again, or but the way we went through it, and I had so many comments from people saying it just looks so professional and looks so good, that made me feel really proud as well. It wasn't like I just whipped something up and slapped it on the website. It was a really well thought out process.
Yeah. So from memory, because this is a wee while ago now, but you launched your first course. You did.
I've done it 4 now.
Yeah, which is amazing. I love that. And that's what it's all about, right? It's about not one launch. It's about keeping going. You launched the first course. I think the price point was $500 and it was called something else. What was
we had 2 price points. We had it was the Social Media Success System.
That's right. That's the name of it
there
at
was
the time.
$497 that was just buy the course, and then I think it was $997 and they got 1 or 2 VIP sessions with me, like 1-hour coaching sessions with me.
So how did that launch go? I mean, I can remember, and also I think that experience was really interesting because we actually made a lot of changes after that launch.
Yeah, we did. I mean, it was exhausting. It was really hard, and that putting myself out there and just believing in myself. I think the fact that you believed in my product and you believed in me, and I had it mapped out, like it couldn't fail, and that I followed your process and your system, and I knew exactly what to do. So, and I felt super, super prepared going into it. And I think things like, helping me to understand the conversion rates of how many people I had to get signed up to attend my webinar, and what that would convert to as far as people purchasing, that all really helped to sort of set my expectations. And I was really still really happy with how that went. the first launch. I didn't do some of the things that you had told me to do, like making sure all my email sequences were written in advance and my social media. And so I literally spent that whole open cart period scrambling, and it was awful, and I'm never going to do that again. So I know my next launch I'd learnt my lesson the hard way. And so I think that was one of the first things I did, actually, was to get those email sequences in place. Or maybe it was my second launch.Maybe the second launch I was half prepared.
Yeah, I think the second launch you had the same. But you learn,
and then it wasn't until
as you launch, right? Yeah.
100%. And it wasn't until the third launch earlier this year, I think it was in July this year, that I actually did exactly what you said. And it was just so much less stressful because, I did find that really hard to kind of have all that energy for the webinars and then having to turn up on social media and do the live videos and things like that, and not having to worry about the email sequences and not having to worry about the social media content just made that so much better. The whole experience was much, much better.
And that's something that I really want to reiterate, is that you actually get better at launching the more you do it. Like that first launch, there's no way you're going to get everything done.
No. And the really good part too was, I loved the Trello board that you have. The whole launch process was just mapped out. And then, I've replicated that for my own launch. So now every time I want to do a launch, I just go to my Trello board and I know it's just all sitting in there for me. I know exactly what to do, and I can move things around and, even right down to the Demio, like getting Canva to work within Demio. Now we've got a little, now we've got a little link and video of how to make it work, because you forget in between launches.
Yeah.
So I'm much, much better at it. I've already got my sales page that I can duplicate and chop and change. And, definitely the first launch was probably the most, it was kind of the hardest. But then it just definitely gets easier and easier from then. And even the template landing pages and things, the sales pages that you recommended for me to get have been really fantastic as well.
Do you mean Demio and Kajabi? The integration?
No, Demio and Canva. No, Demio and Kajabi, you needed the Zapier thing to do, but to run the workshop, to run my slides in Demio from
okay,
Canva,
I get what you mean.
Yeah, you just have to know there's a little button you have to push to make the which screen you share. And I think at one stage in one of my webinars, and I think it was really embarrassing because it was the bit where it's like, you're up to the sales part now, take a deep breath and smile. And somehow I had, like, everybody could see that. Everybody on my webinar could see that slide. I was like, oh no, this is so embarrassing. But I just thought, oh well, never mind.
You live and you learn.
I was definitely smiling. I was smiling in embarrassment.
Yeah, that's so funny though. But like, it doesn't have to be perfect, and you're human.
No, it doesn't.
You
it
get
doesn't.
to show your humanness in a launch. I remember in that launch, one of the things that we dealt with, and I guess this is why I think it's important to have support while you go through a launch rather than just trying to wing it by yourself. As I remember on that very first webinar, you had sales live on your first webinar, which I remember at the time telling you that's not that common.
Yeah, it was exciting.
Yeah, it was
really
exciting,
cool.
like live
I had
notifications.
A couple of people purchase like right then and there, which was really great. Yeah,
but you also had some people leaving comments in the chat that were kind of criticising you at the same time, and that really threw you.
Yeah, it wasn't very nice.
And like, can you talk a little bit about that and how you kind of like moved through that and kind of reframing the situation, I guess?
Yeah, I guess it was what happened is the way that I had the webinar set out was like the free webinar, come along and you get all this free information, and then of course you go into the, and then I've got my online course. And when I did that, one person particularly was saying, oh, this is just a big sales pitch. And, it was, I guess I took that really personally, and it made me feel really uncomfortable. And so the second was I ran 2 webinars with that launch, which I do really recommend that you do, because if you do make mistakes in the first one, if you're sending out a webinar recording, you can send out the second webinar recording and you can change things up if you need to. So what we did in there is I prefaced the whole thing by saying, hey, this is what you're going to get out of today. And then at the end of the free training, I am going to be talking about my new product, which is my online course. And I can't remember if I had something for them to stay on to the end. I said, if you stay on to the end, I'm happy to answer any of your questions as well. I will stay here until I've answered all your questions. And that felt a lot more comfortable with me because I'd already told them that I was going to be pitching to them at the end of the free part. And, they had that option then of leaving if they wanted to. But surprisingly, everybody stayed on and most people stayed right through to the end, which was really nice.
Yeah. From memory,
so you just have to kind of
like...
make it feel... You have to be comfortable with, totally.
I totally agree with that. Like, you've got to make ways of making the webinar your own and you comfortable with it being a situation that you're happy to be in and, like, kind of proud of your product. Like, if you're, like, shying away when you get to your product because you feel like you're annoying people, it can be, like, energetically, it's not a great thing. But one thing I really noticed is I think you changed some of the content in the second webinar based on those comments. And then what happened is you didn't actually get any live sales on that one.
Yeah, I didn't
whereas
get any
you did
live
on the
sales
first
on that
one. So the first one actually converted better. But the reality was it was just one person making one comment and then another person just kind of piggybacked on it. And it wasn't even that bad. Like, me looking at it, I was like, you don't have anything to worry about here. But as the person doing it, sometimes we can kind of get a little bit caught up in, oh my God, someone's saying that I didn't do something properly or, and I guess that's why a lot of us, when it comes to online courses, actually don't want to be visible because of what if someone does comment? But the way I look at it is if you want to be in the game and play a bigger game and actually put, have these products that we get to put out into the world, then it kind of, you're going to get that at some point. And I think you got it on your first webinar and you did amazingly as you worked your way through that.
Yeah, no, it was probably quite good to get it on the first one as well because, I think these days if people are giving away their expertise and time for free, then inevitably there will be something at the end of it probably that they want you to sign up for, whether it's an email list or whether it's their coaching program or whatever. And so I think for me, just being clear about that up front felt a lot better than, and so I've done that, onwards. And, if it means that I end up with less sales, then so be it, because it needs to sit with me comfortably.
Though. Like, that's just a thing that it's not going to impact your sales at all.
No.
Because those people that are coming on our webinar and think that you don't have the right to talk about your products and stuff at the end, they're never going to buy from you. So you could get like hundreds and hundreds of those people on your webinar, but they're not going to be the type that purchase. So
exactly. And I wouldn't have wanted to work with somebody like that anyway. Exactly.
Like, it's quite rude.
Yeah.
Would you go on a webinar and leave comments? Because I wouldn't.
No, I wouldn't.
Like that, like critical ones.
Yeah.
But so after that launch, we changed the name, kind of tweaked the because how you did it is that you pre-launched and then you created the course. So that was quite full on for you.
That was really full on, but it was a sensible way of doing it. It kind of felt, because I think I'd had pre-created the first module and then I dripped out one module a week. And so in that week I was busy scrambling to make the module. I mean, I had it all mapped out and I had all the slides, but I still had to prepare it and put it together and get it onto Kajabi and things. So,
I think that's definitely the way to do it, though, because imagine if you were trying to launch and create your course all at once and then you got to the launch and no one bought and you've just wasted all your time.
Yeah, well, I think that's the problem, is that that's what some people probably do. And that's what I would have done before I worked with you, is I would have created my course and been, really proud of it, and then not really knowing what to do next. So I stuck it on my website, talked about it a bit in social media, sent it to my email list of 150 people, and then wondered why it hadn't sold.
Yeah. I think a lot of people do that. So, and then what did we do? We changed the name of it to the Fun Social Media Academy from the Social Media Success System.
Yeah.
We added
we launched, we added more things, and we added in the Google My Business and the LinkedIn training and the Instagram and the Facebook ads and things. And that was because I found that was still the stuff I was teaching my clients and running the workshops for people still didn't know how to use LinkedIn to grow their business, or they had no idea about the importance of Google Business Profile, or all they were doing was boosting their posts and wondering, why nothing was happening. So I created that training as well and put it inside the course, and then realized the way I ran that next launch was that I provided once a week coaching sessions, live coaching sessions, which were great and really well attended. And everybody really loved that community aspect. And it was quite sad, in fact, when it ended. I'm actually running another one next week, this Friday, actually, for the people that have bought my course, everyone that's bought it in the last year and a half, and said, hey, I'm just going to do a free 1.5 hour session. Come along. There's no sales pitch, no offer, nothing, just me. And I just want to answer your questions and make sure that you are, if you're stuck anywhere, that I can help you move forward. And I'm really looking forward to connecting with everybody again. It's going to be fun.
Oh, that's amazing. I love that.
Yeah, okay. I'm looking forward to that. So
as a result of that extra value, we doubled the price as well, didn't we?
Yeah, we doubled the price.
Yeah.
Yep.
Gave it a new name, so it was more of an academy because it was like more than just the system. Like you're still teaching the system, but it was more of a kind of school academy type where there's a lot more in there.
Yep.
And then you went on. Now you've actually done 4 launches, which is amazing. So you actually doubled your results. You doubled the price and you doubled your results and had a 5-figure launch on your second launch, which is amazing. And now it's just like Black Friday being 2022, and you did your first launch by yourself without my support.
By myself.
So that was your 4th launch. So kind of how have your launches progressed, and just walk us through that a little bit.
Well, the mere fact that I could even consider doing it on my own was kind of, I would never have been able to do that. And I guess I call it like a lazy launch because I didn't do a webinar. I literally sent 2 emails to my database and did 4 social media posts and Facebook ads for a week. And again, that was another 5-figure launch. And I was like, woohoo! I think I messaged you last Friday when the doors had closed. And it was amazing that I had everything set up, ready to go. I did have, I had to do some work on it, of course. And this time I offered, so I had doubled the price again. But this time people got 2 one-on-one 90-minute sessions with me, which was great. And I think people really like that for the accountability and just sort of keeping them on track and having me there to help them one-on-one if they do get stuck, which, feels really good to me as well, because I want everybody to succeed and to, to get what they want out of the course. So that's been fantastic. And so now I'm working with you again next year to sort out my signature program.
Yeah, amazing. I love that. I think that it's so important to actually realise that with launching, the more you do it, the better you get at it. And it's really my goal to actually get you to the point where you have the knowledge and confidence in yourself to launch. And I really love that for this offer over Black Friday, which I have to say, amazing actually getting that result over Black Friday when there's a lot of noise going on, especially this year. I think it was like really full on from what I saw. But I love how you have actually got the confidence now to tweak the offer, like you added in the VIP calls. Are you doing like the weekly calls with this group, or is it?
No. Okay. This is a complete do it yourself at home in your own time. And then once you get to this stage, then we have the VIP call, and then we complete the next bit, and then we have another one. So it's really just to keep people moving through, because I find a lot of people did really well on the weekly one, but I actually think the weekly was too much for some people. There wasn't enough time in between, and they're busy with their businesses and their lives to get done what they want to get done. So that's why I thought if I, give them tasks to do and then they meet with me, that's going to really keep them on track.
Yeah, I just love that you've tweak the offer. Like that's one thing, is that not every launch, the offer doesn't have to be the same. Like you have the course. I've actually done an episode on this, I think, like the difference between your online course and your offer. So, I mean, I think for those listening, this is a perfect example of that. Is Leeann's, the course is still the same, but the offer's different. And, you probably tweaked it a little bit based on your availability, but obviously it started December now. You probably maybe don't want to start a new cohort through the course right now, but you kind of saw an opportunity to tweak the offer to make it work for you and also deliver the results for the customer as well, for the student.
Yeah, and one good thing as well that came from when we broke the academy up into the main part of it plus the extra courses is we were able to give those courses as bonuses in one of the launches. So in this recent one, they got everything. They got the complete package. There were no bonuses. There was nothing. I didn't have any. All I had was a pay in full and a 6-month payment plan. I only gave them the choice of one payment or 6 months, which made it really
good,
affordable. Yeah. And well, I personally like the payment plan as well for myself when I'm choosing to buy things. Often it makes it just a bit more affordable when you're a small business.
Yeah.
But being able to offer like the Facebook ads for beginners course and the Grow Your LinkedIn and the Google Business one, saying you get these as well when you sign up. That's what we did in July. That felt really good to be able to give it to those people as well. And I think that made them feel like they were getting much more as well.
Yeah, I think that's really good as well to have those kind of resources up your sleeve to either use as bonuses or you can put them all in there for a big special offer. Which definitely, like being over Black Friday, I think that is good. But it gives you options, right? And then you could even sell those courses, having seen inside them myself. I know how much value is in them. You could even sell them as a mini course in the future.
Well, that's what I'm going to do. Is one of my goals for next year is to turn them into evergreen courses, like set up evergreen funnels and, just have a play around with that and advertising like the LinkedIn one on LinkedIn, for example, and, just seeing how that goes and also maybe running some mini workshops as a lead into some of those evergreen courses.
Yeah, nice. So you've done 4 launches, 3 of them are 5-figure launches. You've grown your email list by a huge amount, which is amazing. One thing that I really see with service providers, especially who have been doing done for you, like you were, email list, and I've been in this situation, like I used to be a do done for you digital marketing, is that we don't spend time building up our own assets, like in terms of email lists, that kind of thing.
No.
So, usually service providers don't have much of an email list, and I think just switching that up where we actually start to market our own businesses as well is really important. So that's something you've achieved as well. Are there any other other benefits that you've had from creating an online course? Like, has it increased your authority?
Definitely.
Yeah.
It has. And I've had, I was invited, was it earlier this year, to be one of the specialists in the Social Media Examiner. They set up this international kind of panel of experts, and so they had invited me to be on that, and which is no longer. They obviously, they set it up and had it all up and running, but it didn't end up turning into anything, unfortunately.
Oh, okay.
But still, the mere fact that they invited me to be one of the experts was really cool. And then I was invited to be a digital boost facilitator locally here, which was fantastic. And I think just being able to sort of put myself out there and feel really proud of what I've got, because I know it really helps people, has given me confidence, and it has developed the trust people have in me. And the other thing I love about it is that, I do quite a bit of work with not-for-profit organisations, and I guess I'm quite a soft-hearted person. It's nice to be able to give stuff away. And so if I'm working with an organisation or a person that I know would really benefit from my program, I can actually gift it to them. And I really love that. I can do that, and I know that it's going to help them. And the other thing too is that, I feel like I really have built this asset for my business. And even with the one-on-one clients that I work with, I can say, oh, well, look, I've got a video on, how to set your link tree up for your bio on Instagram, or I've got a video on this, so why don't you just watch that video? And I can, give them all those recordings.
Yeah.
Which is super helpful. So it's got heaps of different aspects of it that, that's all benefits really.
Yeah. Amazing. I think that creating an online course, yes, it can seem like a lot of work and a big commitment at the time, but once you have done the work, you really get to benefit, and it turns into such an asset, like you say.
Yeah, it definitely is. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
So,
and the money that I invested with working with you, I think I've worked out that that's come back in itself at least 4 times.
I love that.
So, it felt at the beginning, it's like, it's an investment. But then I think I'm really investing in my business. I've got this now product that I can sell over and over again. And it's continuing to keep helping people and to make me money.
Perfect. That's what it's all about.
Yeah.
Cool. So what was it like being supported? Like, obviously you started off in a group coaching program with me. I think that was for 12 weeks, and then you moved into one-on-one, and then you did the one-on-one for quite a long time. So can you talk a little bit how you felt through the process of working privately with me? What was that process like? What did it feel like being supported through the process?
Oh, it felt amazing. I think if I hadn't have had your support, I would not have got to the stage that I'm at now, for sure. I think I would have, as I said before, I would have just had a bit of a go at it and probably given up. But the things that I really loved about working with you was you just had that it's like you were right in it with me, and you understood the nitty gritty. Like you read through all my slides, you knew exactly what I was going to say. You read through all my emails, you knew exactly what I was doing the whole time. And so you were kind of overseeing it and making sure, it was sounding good and sounding authentic, and still trying to achieve what we wanted those things to achieve. So I really loved that. It wasn't like you were just kind of on the sidelines looking in. You were like right in there with me. And I loved the fact that I could vox you. So I don't know how many, we probably spent hours over the period of the year and a half if we went back. But, I'd have an idea and I'd just send you a message and, hey, Louise, what do you think about this? And talk you through it. And for someone like me, having to sit and put all that into an email or something I would struggle with. So the fact that I could just push a button and do the whole walkie-talkie app and then have you message me back, and that was invaluable. That was amazing. And I still miss having that with you now that we're not working together. I'm like, I just want to vox to Louise. I need to talk to her. I want to tell her about this. So it felt like you were right there beside me because you really understood what I was doing, and you understood how I was feeling. And, that was, I don't know, it felt so good. I felt like I wasn't on my own. And, you were coaching me and mentoring me and kind of encouraging me and making me believe in myself. But you're also, that kind of friend there, but you're enough to be able to give me a little prod or tell me off if I needed it, which was good, but very kindly.
Yeah. And I think like that Voxer support, I think it's so powerful.
Oh, it was amazing.
Yeah. It really is the kind of like VIP way of launching.
That was totally like now. I love Voxer. I loved that. It was amazing having that working with you.
Yeah,
thank you.
Awesome. So, what are your biggest lessons from creating your course and launching now 4 times? I think launching and creating courses, as I said before, it's not just a one-time thing. It's something you've got to keep working at. And
no.
Yeah, so I'd love, in your own words, like what have been your biggest lessons, realizations from your experience so far?
Okay, so a few different things. I was really hesitant at the beginning to do more than one webinar. I was just like, I just want to do one and get it over and done with and never have to show my face again. And you really encouraged me to do 2. And I'm really glad that I did. And the first time, I was quite nervous, and being able to do it the second time just felt so much better. And so now I always do 2. In fact, I might even do 3 next year, just because although it's hard at the time, it does get easier, and it was totally worth it. I think the next thing I've learned is not to take shortcuts. Just do everything that you say to do, and planning it out and having that kind of the overall framework that you've got, it was really helpful to help me go, okay, this is where I have to be. Like, we're going to do this and that leads to that. And so I could understand where it all fitted together. So it all made sense. And I realized that there was nothing that we did that was not essential and that was a waste of time. Like, it was all a part of the sort of the process. The other thing was to make sure you test every single part of the funnel in the sales process and make sure that all the links work, that they all go to the right place. I even did that in the last one. I had something very kindly, a client messaged me and said that I had one of my links was going to the wrong place. And I was like, oh, thank you. But it's important to just go through and test it, and even purchase the course yourself and go through to make sure it's all how it should be. The other thing that I'd recommend is to make sure you do some test runs with the webinar software. The test run the day before, and even do a test run that morning as well, or that evening, just so that you've really got it down pat. And have some, don't try and do it all yourself. I've got 2 VAs that have been helping me with this, and that's been invaluable. I think if I'd had to do it all on my own, it would have been just a nightmare. I mean, I feel confident with Kajabi, and I have learnt how to use Kajabi. But when you're right in the midst of creating slides and things like that for a 1-hour webinar, to have someone that can put things into Kajabi for you and just get it all in such a way that you can go back through and check it and tweak it was really helpful as well. I think it would have been really hard to have done without that help and support.
Yeah. So multiple webinars. Love that, because it also gives the potential students or the people that just want to come more time zone options as well.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. And hire the right help. VAs, get them to do the kind of tedious stuff while you focus on
but also make
the
sure
big stuff.
Those VAs know what they're doing, because if you've got a VA that says they know how to use Kajabi but really they don't, and they're just learning on the go with you, that's hard. So having someone that's actually an expert at that, I think is a worthwhile investment.
Yeah. So getting the right support. Yep. What else have you learned?
Well, testing.
Yeah, testing.
Yep.
Yeah.
Testing
links.
Mapping it all out, planning it all out. I guess the importance of Facebook ads as well, because, your launch is only really going to be as successful as the number of people that you have turning up to your webinar. So Facebook ads did play a big part. I mean, yes, I had a lot of people sign up from my email database, but I also had a lot of people sign up from Facebook ads. So having that set up, and also with the Facebook ads, is really set them up a week. Like if your webinar, rather if you want a 10-day kind of lead up to your webinar, so make sure you've got those ads set up a week before that 10 days, because with Facebook you have to go through that testing process. And so I love the fact that we got all those ads set up. I think we had like 16 different ads within that one campaign, and we could just go through and turn the ads off that weren't performing, and we could really see what was working and what wasn't. And I think it was the second launch I did, I only set those ads up 10 days out, and so they weren't really fully optimized until about day 5, and so I felt like I missed out on that opportunity of getting more people along. So I think the third launch we did, we set them up probably, I don't know, nearly 3 weeks out, just to get them going.
Yeah.
Which was good.
Yeah. And having the kind of Facebook ad strategy rather than just sending out one ad.
Oh, I couldn't have done it without your help, because the way you took me through, and we did all the testing of all the different audiences, and the warm audiences and the cold audiences, and the different graphics and the copy, and that was, it was pretty intense and pretty in-depth, and quite an advanced form of Facebook ads, really. So your expertise and knowledge with that, I would not have been able to do that on my own.
I love that you bring up the Facebook ads, actually, because we just need traffic. And I think if you're coming into online courses and you haven't been doing a lot of your own marketing, because maybe you've got a lot of your clients through referral and word of mouth, and you don't have a big email list, you need traffic. You need to get this course or the webinar, whatever's before the course, in front of as many people as possible, and that's where ads are a really powerful tool.
And the conversion rates that you were talking about, it was so, that was good, because I realised if you want, if you have your goal and a certain number of sales that you want to make, then you can reverse engineer it backwards from how many people you need at your webinar. And so, on average conversion rates, that was really helpful, and that was quite motivating to go, well, we need to spend more money on the Facebook ads as well. And knowing that it was okay to spend quite a lot of money on Facebook ads, because it was going to be worth it, and the fact that we got more people along and then hopefully more conversions.
Yeah, and I think from memory, if we look back at what we actually spent on Facebook ads, it was just a very tiny proportion of the sales that you made.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. I think I had to sell one course, and then I covered the cost of my Facebook ads.
Exactly. So I think
Yeah.
People tend to shy away from Facebook ads a little bit, but in terms of the time it saves you, like imagine having to post that much organically to get that impact. Like it just wouldn't happen.
You couldn't have. And the other thing too, which was really good about the Facebook ads, is that it still grew my database. I think I had like an extra 500 people sign up or something over a couple of launches, which was, so it's kind of a two-prong. You're getting them to come to your webinar, they're getting to learn about you, but you're also growing your database. Maybe they're not ready to work with you yet, but they're still on your database, which is cool.
And I think that's the thing with you, Leeann. Now you've done 4 launches, and that's something like... it's kind of a process. Like, not every single person we attract into our first launch is going to buy, but we kind of need to warm them up, and then maybe 3 or 4 launches down the track they are going to purchase. So I think that's a really important point.
And different, just depending on what kind of offers you do. Like maybe they are wanting more one-on-one support, or maybe they actually do want to do it completely on their own, or it just depends where they're at in their business journey and things. So, and I guess it also depends on what payment options you have for them too.
Yeah, exactly. Amazing. So what are your future plans for your course now that you've got 4 launches in the bag? What's 2023 going to bring for your course?
Well, I'm going to be launching my signature course probably in May, which I'm super excited about. That's going to be fantastic. That's going to be like a more intense group coaching over a longer period of time.
So it's more of a group coaching program? Yeah.
Yes, it will be. So, and I love the group coaching. I really love the community aspect of it and the one-on-one kind of relationships that we build, and being able to support each other that way. So I'm excited about that. I'm going to turn some of my smaller courses into evergreen products, just creating the funnels and the recording the videos and things for that as well. I'm taking it that next step further, I guess, and then probably looking at adding in a couple more courses as well. I've got some ideas for some new courses. That's what I'm going to be doing.
Amazing. That sounds so good. So what would you say to someone who is considering creating an online course, but they're just thinking about it? They're on the fence.
Oh, well, to have a chat with you. Just reach out to Louise and see what she's got to say, because I'm sure she'll be able to give you, looking at what you've got, you'll be able to sort of take a look at whether it's something that it can turn into an online course. But I also think to just go for it, because you need to test these things and see if they work, because otherwise if you don't try it, then you're never going to know if it worked or not, and you just have to take that risk and put yourself out there and just trust that it will happen and it will work, and that you will end up with meeting some amazing people along the journey and growing your business at the same time.
I love that. Couldn't agree more. Thanks so much for coming on today, Leeann. It's been a real pleasure to have you on the podcast. And for those of you listening, I hope you got a lot out of it. And that's the end of the episode. Thanks again, Leeann.
Thank you. Thank you very much for having me. It's been cool.
Cool. See you later.
It's been fun. Okay, bye.
I hope you enjoyed that episode as much as I enjoyed interviewing Leeann. It was so great to hear her story, and I hope you got many takeaways from it. Now, I'm just popping in to say that I have opened up very limited spaces for private coaching in 2023. I have either 6-month or 12-month options available. If you are interested, then please don't hesitate, because I only have 5 spots. You can jump on over to louiseblakely.com/call, where you can actually book a call with me and see if it's a right fit for you. And these spots will be gone really fast. So make sure, if you are interested and you want that high-level mentorship in 2023 with your online courses, launching, your funnels, that kind of thing, then go over and book a call today. Thanks for listening again, and I'll see you on the next episode. Thanks, course creators and go-getters. You're incredible, and I hope you enjoyed today's episode. If you haven't done so already, make sure you hit subscribe in your podcast app so you don't miss an episode. If you'd like to find out more about what I offer, head across to louiseblakely.com. See you next time.